My name's Bella. I don't know if I'm gonna do anything with this. I'm just kind of sitting in my car, having some thoughts, drinking some Starbies. I just want to hit a couple points from what I've learned in my personal experience of being in a relationship with someone who has dealt with a lot of emotional trauma, triggers, maybe mental illness, stuff like that. Because going in, I didn't know anyone else that was with someone else that was dealing with such deep-rooted issues and how to handle that and how to feel. And sometimes I feel like I'm such a horrible person for the things I've thought, or like when I wasn't, perfect in handling a situation. It's so easy to just get lost in something like that. Like, there's no guidebook. No one ever taught me. So 3 years in to this relationship with the same person, love you, Nick, love you. Here are some things I've learned, and hopefully I can help you out with your situation. Now, obviously, every situation's different. Every person's different. If your safety is at concern, if you're with someone who's being manipulative or is using their mental illnesses and stuff as an excuse, you need to get help. You need to get that person help, and you need to separate yourself from that situation. Sometimes it doesn't have to be fully separate yourself from that situation. You have to make the judgment call, but make yourself in a safe place and make sure that person is getting the help and treatment they need before you can even think about being in a romantic relationship again. For me, that's not the case. I'm safe, I'm fine, I'm in a great place. But I just want to hit a couple main points about what it's like to be with somebody with mental illness, and that, not mental illness, emotional trauma that probably led to some mental illnesses, like anxiety, depression, stuff like that. That whole little umbrella of things, that's what I want to deal with, and my experience with them. I'm not a doctor, okay? Don't crucify me. I know the internet can be really mean, but number one, you're doing your best. You are trying your absolute best, okay? You love this person. Everything you're doing is because you love them. Even if it's not the right thing to do, even if you fucked up, you can't possibly understand what they're going through and what they're thinking and their thought processes. You haven't gone through what they're going through, and so you can sympathize, you can try your hardest to understand, but you cannot fully feel and understand what they're thinking and going through. So that can be very challenging when you're trying to help them, and what you might normally do to help, like, say if you're in a previous relationship with somebody that didn't have all these emotional traumas and stuff like that, that would work fine in those situations. But in this situation with this person that you're with, it would make things so much 100% worse. Like, for me personally, my thing was that I would always try and fix the problem. So if he was really freaking out about work or whatever, I'm like, well, just do this, or if you do this, or if you do this, and it would make things so much worse, and I wouldn't understand why. I'm like, I'm trying to help you, I'm trying to fix the situation, but that's not what was required for the situation. For this situation, it was like, hey, calm down, everything's okay, I love you, it's not as catastrophic as you may think it is, and be careful with your words, okay? Be very careful with your words. Because what this person is going through is very real. It is very, very real to them. Like, say you guys get in a little argument, or just a normal relationship couple argument, and that other person, your significant other, will start freaking out, being like, we fight all the time, we argue all the time, you hate me, the world is over, blah, blah, blah. You need to realize that is coming from a place of trauma. That is coming from a place of that person truly feels that way. Even if you know in your heart that it was only one argument, the relationship is fine, everything's stable, everything's okay, in that person's mind, they truly, truly feel that way. And that is an awful way to feel. And you need to remember that when you approach a situation like this and be like, hey, everything's cool, everything's fine. And even then, things may get completely thrown out of control, right? And you need to learn when it's time to step back and be like, okay, I'm gonna give you a couple minutes to cool down, or do what you need to do. You want me to be here, comfort you. If not, take a step back. I'm not upset, everything's cool. Just let me know what you need. And it's not always perfect. That other person, whatever their trauma may be, it may blow up and I hate you, blah blah blah, all this stuff. But that goes away, right? Like the situation calms down, everything's fine. And it is so important to communicate when you're not in a high stress environment. Like talk about what happened. Be like, hey, this is why I did this. And the other person could be like, well, I felt this way. This is why I was freaking out like this. When I'm in these situations, I like it best whenever you just tell me everything's gonna be okay. Or you tell me things aren't as bad as it's gonna be. You know, it's very important to make sure you communicate thoroughly when these trigger moments or whatever aren't happening. Okay, that's number one. So try your best, communicate really well, right? Just you're doing your best. And probably the second main point I want to get into is how you feel as yourself. You know, how are you doing? Even though that person went through a lot of trauma and stuff like that, it's still important about how you are doing, how your mental health is. And sorry, I just completely lost my train of thought. Oh, okay. How you're feeling. So it can be very easy to get frustrated and be like, why are you freaking out? This is stupid. Like, you know this is stupid. Because for me at least, my significant other, if you just met them, talked to them, whatever, you would have no idea like anything was wrong or anything had ever happened to this person, right? But then like as you get closer to them, then you can figure that stuff out, and then you start to see it, and then like, you know, a whole thing, whatever, different for everybody. But it can be very easy to have these thoughts of frustration and this isn't fair, or you know, just get very frustrated with the other person. And you're not a bad person for feeling that way. You know, it is very hard. You know, what that person is going through is hard. But I feel like people don't like to talk about how hard it is for the person that is with them. Because people just want to automatically attack and be like, oh, you're so shitty, like they're going through a tough time, and oh, you want to cry about how hard it is for you. Okay, you need to be sympathetic. It is hard to love someone else so much and to not be able to help them. Or just not be able to play God all the time. You can't be perfect. You can fuck up a situation so quick by doing something that in normal situations wouldn't escalate or happen that way. So it is hard and it's very frustrating. And you could have thoughts of, I hate this, I can't do this, like I don't want to think about fucking mental health and tiptoe forever. You know, like I've been with this person for 3 years, and sometimes I can think that way. But you have to remember, it's not their fault, okay? It's not their fault that they have these issues. Now, like I said, every situation's different. Like some people really, really need therapy and stuff like that, and they're actively choosing not to, you know, like you can judge for your own situation. Like if somebody is using their mental health and triggers and traumas as an excuse, or if they're really just a product of them and they don't mean to hurt you. They don't mean to cause these problems for you, okay? So you can judge your own situation. But me, I guess I come from a family where it's so easy to be like, nah, get the fuck over it, you know, like get over it. And so I feel like so shitty sometimes when I think that, and when I get frustrated, and when I just get upset, and I'm like, other normal people, couples don't have to deal with this. Like other normal couples can get in like little arguments and like it's no big deal. Like they don't like think the world is ending and that the relationship is over. But you're not with, I don't want to say you're not with a normal person. You're not with anyone else that didn't go through these type of traumas, right? You're with that person because you love them and you care about them deeply, and you want to watch them grow. You want to watch them become better people, you know? Not better people, healthier people, you know, more at peace with themselves in their mind. And it can be frustrating. The only thing I can kind of compare it to, I guess, with that type of frustration is when I see parents that have children that have like mental disorders or disabilities or stuff like that, where you care about them so much, but it gets frustrating. It gets really tiring and frustrating to have to like deal with these things all the time, and it gets so easy to think like, why can't I just have a normal child, you know? But you want to trade it for the world because you love that person. You love them so deeply, you know? You just want to be with them. I'm just rambling, I'm so sorry. I know I keep saying, it's just a mental buffer, But, okay, I think I've said my piece. Main takeaway points from this whole just rant is you're trying your best, okay? Take a deep breath. You're not gonna be perfect, You're doing your best. Communicate. Communication with somebody who has, like, a different thought process than you and, like, mental triggers and, like, childhood traumas and stuff like that. Communication is, like, 5 times more important than communication is for, like, normal relationships, okay? Communicate. No matter what. 3, it's okay that you feel frustrated. It's okay that you have these thoughts of anger or maybe like a little bit of resentment towards this person. Okay, it's normal. It's not normal to have like constant resentment towards this person, like you're just like, oh, I fucking hate you. But in situations like those, when things arise, things go wrong, like that mental illness and stuff like that comes out, it's okay to feel those feelings. You're not a shit person, okay? It's normal to get frustrated, especially when you've been with someone for so long. And fucking social media and movies love to portray this love story thing about how you meet somebody that's so damaged and so broken and has so many mental disorders or whatever, and then they meet this girl and she's all that he needed to like fix him up, and their love is what's gonna help and fix his mental and traumas, and his traumas. Okay, no, that's never gonna happen. They need medication, therapy, patience, years of time, okay? Don't expect that. Don't expect that, oh, in like a year or two, our love will make all these problems and insecurities go away. No, okay, I've been with this person for 3 years, and I'm so happy that he has grown up so much in the past 3 years. Not grown up, oh my god, scratch that, no. Not grown up, grown as a person, if that makes more sense. Grown as a person in these last 3 years, he's more patient, he's more understanding of his surroundings and more understanding of situations, but obviously there's still a long way to go, and it's been 3 whole years. So if Hollywood wants to paint this fucking picture that all it takes is a month, and then this person is just like healed, that's not true. That is not true, okay? Not even close. Oh god. I hate it so bad. Because then you have all these girls and Tumblr bitches that are like, oh, he's broken, I can fix him. And then you're just gonna like crash and burn. Because you're like, whoa, this is actually a lot more complex and a lot harder than I thought. And I'm still dealing with patience and dealing with, handling things in the best way, not getting frustrated, not getting upset, whatever. I've said it 1,000 times, but yes, you're trying your best, okay? Be patient, communicate, and it is okay to have feelings of why. Why is this happening to me? Why can't you feel better? Why can't you heal already? Just thoughts of why. It is normal to have those. So that's pretty much my whole piece. If y'all want to educate me on some things that I missed, or you further things for me to think of, help me out, whatever. If you have any questions, if you have any concerns, if you have anything, advice maybe about personal situations, you're like, hey Bella, I'm going through this and this and this and this happened. As someone else who's been, or who is with somebody who deals with traumas and mental disorders and stuff like that, what would you recommend? Again, I'm not a doctor, but I do have a little bit of experience under my belt, and I can try and help you guys out as much as possible, because we always talk about the other person and, dealing with mental illness and dealing with traumas and how to heal from them, but no one ever really talks about what it's like to be with somebody that has trauma and disorders and illnesses and stuff, No one ever talks about that side of it. And for y'all watching that are in the same boat as me, know just how hard and testing it could be, and how probably the best, I'm gonna end on this, the best advice I've ever heard is that you need to separate the person from the illness. You need to separate what is the illness and what is the person. Is this person acting this way because of their illness, of their traumas, of their whatever you need to call it, whatever fits in your situation? Is this happening because of this, or is it the person? Because you've seen that person when they're not having an episode or whatever. And you just really need to separate the person from the illness. So I hope I helped y'all guys out. I know it's been like 16 minutes, I'm so sorry. But no, I wish somebody was there to ramble this all out at me. So yeah, if you need some help, let me know. I'm always there to try and give my piece. So have a good day. Love y'all. Kisses. Mwah. Bitch, look at you. Fierce as shit. I'll talk to you later.